निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविडं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव त्वमेव सर्वं गुरुदेव देव. Hari Om. We are doing the self-realization series, that now we are looking at the Mahavakyas. Mahavakya means the essential aphoristic statements, essential statements of Vedanta. So Vedanta is Vedanta because of these Mahavakyas, at least from the Advaitin point. Because Mahavakyas is how do we define Mahavakya? Maha means great statements. Great statements is Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, Aikya, Bodhaka, Vakyam. A statement where that which points out the essence of the individual Jiva, the world Jagat, and Ishvara, the God, the essence of all the three, that which points the identity or the uniqueness or the oneness that of the essence, that which points out to that is Mahavakyam, great statements. And all other statements of the Vedanta are only supportive statements to understand these Mahavakyas. So you may have pages and pages of others, all Upanishads and different things, all are trying to teach the same. Because people do not accept what? That you are infinite. How can I be infinite? Because experientially I don't see that I am infinite. And the scripture is telling you that you are infinite, which means one without a second. Infinite means there are no divisions of any kind. That is the essence of everything. That you are that, if it pointing out, then the experience negates the teaching, and the teaching is pointing out something that I don't experience at all, and I cannot experience Brahman. People think, oh, I had a beautiful experience. Did you experience? Yes, then that's not that. So what is that? It is your essential nature. I can experience something other than myself only, because there is an experience, there is an experiencer and experienced. The duality is implied, and it is not duality, it is one that pervades the experiencer and the experienced also, the subject and the object. So that is Mahavakya, that points out in that direction. So Mahavakya themselves are only not the statements, because no words can reach there. Even Mahavakyas cannot reach there, but it points out in the direction for me to contemplate on and recognize myself as I am the essence of infinite, the essence of the whole universe. So the statement Aitadatyam idagum sarvam tat satyam sa atma tattvamasi Svetaketu, this statement by teacher Uddalaka to his son student who is Svetaketu is repeated 9 times, I said. That means it is the essential statement of the Vedanta. And 9 times he repeats by taking different examples to ensure that Svetaketu, his student, understand clearly without any doubts. So when the doubts arises, yes, I understand, but when the but comes, that means you are not clear. There is a vague understanding. Yes, I understand I am Brahman. That's good. But what should I do now? What does it mean? What should I do now? Means what? I have not understood Brahman. I have been studying Vedanta all the time. So now what I have to do? No, I have to sit and meditate. What? Meditate on Brahman. So you are Brahman. That's what the teaching is. What is there to meditate? Because meditation is only something other than yourself. Meditator and meditated has to be separate. That's why in the Avadhuta Gita, Dattatreya says, Aham jata paranjeyam akhandam khandate katham. How can you say I want to meditate? I want to meditate and discover myself. How can you say that? Because how can you divide that I am a meditator and this has to be meditated on? That duality itself has to disappear. There is no meditation anymore. There is a recognition in the process. I'm not negating meditation. And see, what should be meditation should be where the meditator, meditation and the meditation themselves are dissolved in the process. In the discovery that I am, that I am, that I am, aham aham taya spurati hrutsvayam parama purna sat. The Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says, no, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi realized it or not, we don't care whether Bhagavan, but the teaching itself is pointing in the direction. Therefore we care. Otherwise it's difficult to know whether somebody has realized or not. We already mentioned that. So he says, this we quoted before, he says, aham ahami nasha bhat jaha mahantaya spurati hrutsvayam parama purna sat. When this local I am, this I am, this I am, this get dissolved by thinking that I am this total, how do I think? By proper understanding, then spontaneously that I am raises in the core of my personality, and that I am is different from previous I am that I thought, and this is Paramam Purnam and Sat Swarupam. Aitajatma Vedagam Sarvam Tat Satyam, that is Sat Swarupam, and that you are, that is Mahavakya. And that is a great statement, and that's an instruction by the teacher, because it says you are that. This is a Uddalaka teaching his student, his son, and says, Beta, this you are that. Saumya means my dear darling son, that you are. Until he understands, he repeats it, and in the end, quiet means there is nothing more to say. He understood. After ninth teaching, the Upanishad ends itself with the statement that teaching is over. That means Swetaketu realized who he is. And if we understand, it's not for Swetaketu, it is for us to understand using that teaching of what Uddalaka teaches is exactly what we are repeating, understanding it, and that's what is essentially Vedanta means. Now, sir, Tattvamasi is also interpreted by other acharyas. How do they differ? In what way you are right and what way they are wrong? We'll just go through, because this is a technical point, and just for satisfaction of those who question this, if you don't question, don't worry, you can skip this. It says Tattvamasi is Mahavakya, you are that. How does Bhagavan Ramanuja interprets this? Because for him, Ishvara is different from Jiva. Jiva is only a part of Ishvara, but never totality. So the totality is not the same. It's only one part. Jiva and Jagat are the body of the totality. In the total Ishvara, you're only a speck, because you're only smaller than the speck of the tip of the hair if divided 100 times, that small you are. So therefore there are billions of jivas in the total universe. So you are only one of them, but you are part of him, not different from him, because Brahman has to include everything. It cannot exclude everything. So therefore you are a part. Even Jagat is also part of him. So they're both in the total Virat Swarupa. There is a Chit aspect and there is the Achit aspect. Achit is inert things, and the conscious jivas also together constitutes the whole body of the Ishvara. And he pervades the whole body, just like I pervade the whole body, this body. So that is the analogy they use in order to explain. Because when you touch my tip of my finger, say you are touching me, because I am pervading even in the tip of finger. Even though according to Ramanuja, I am the jiva part, the self is very, very small. But yet I pervade. How? Don't ask. I mean, that's what the statement is. So how does he explain the Tattvamasi? You are that. They call Samanadhikaranam. The explanation for all the acharyas is, when the equation is there, the equation means I am this equation. Same way, you are that is an equation. You equal to that. That's what tat tvam asi. Asi is equal to you is tvam and tat is that. So you are that. And what is that you and what is that and what is the equation is the whole Vedanta is. Clearly understanding the tvam padartha vichara, tat padartha vichara and asi padartha vichara. Vichara means inquiry into what does that aham stand for, whatever this stand for, and what does the equation really stand for. And this equation is explained by what is called samana adhikaranam. When the two words are used in the equation and they are used in the same inclination or same vibhakti or same connotation or the I don't understand the English word, but in the same form they are used, then you have to understand and explain properly without invalidating the equation. Because this is a scriptural statement, scripture cannot be wrong because it's only pointing the truth. Because scripture is telling the truth. So it cannot be untruth. So then it won't tell you. So if it is truth, then if it doesn't appeal or it doesn't seem sensible to my experientially, not true, then I can inquire the validity of the experience, not the validity of the oh, that's the validity of the scripture. Oh, there's a blind belief. It's not a belief. They say, is it a blind belief to say, I give an example, that light travels in this at such a speed. Is it a belief or is it a faith or is it a fact? Science says only facts. And you can disprove the scientific fact because it's a discovery and then come up with classical mechanics is not valid when I go to a size of atomic size. Then use quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics doesn't invalidate the classical mechanics. It's only transcends that it go to when you go to very very fine particles. The other one is not valid. You have to use a quantum mechanics when you go to atomic size. When the size becomes smaller and smaller, you have to go to apply the quantum mechanics. So therefore, higher knowledge is only that which is need to be applied for subtler things. When grosser understanding cannot be valid, cannot explain properly. Say you are infinite, I am that, how can I be that? I am subject, you are object, you just went through all that and now you are saying I am that also. You are invalidating. I am invalidating only from the point of higher understanding. You have to say, when I say gold equal to ring, the ring is equal to bangle. So ring is different from bangle. Yes, ring is different from bangle, but ring is gold. Ring is bangle. So when ring equal to bangle, I have to say what is that I am equating in these two. When I said earlier, ring is not a bangle, what is that I am negating? Both have to be understood. So in the samana adhikaranam, ring equal to bangle, both are nouns. That's called samana. But has to be understood by equating it. So Bhagavan Ramanuja interprets tat tvam asi, you are that. What is that you are that is being defined is essentially you are he uses the visheshana visheshabhyam samanadhikaranam. So there are two different ways of explaining the samanadhikaranam, means equal emphasis of the two words. How do you account it? He says he uses the word, or he uses the methodology of explaining a visheshana visheshabhyam samanadhikaranam, whereas the Shankaracharya interprets as the bhadayam samanadhikaranam. So what is this? Bhadayam samanadhikaranam and visheshana visheshabhyam samanadhikaranam. So visheshana visheshabhyam means visheshana means quality, visheshyam is the one that possesses the quality. So in this I can do equation of one is an adjective, another is a noun, but adjective used in the form of a noun, therefore it is equation is that form. When I say this is a blue lotus, he gives an example, says blue lotus. Blue is a noun and lotus is a another noun, but blue lotus, when you use it, then that blue is blueness, which is an adjective form. It is used to qualify this particular lotus, which is blue, but otherwise as a lotus. So lotus is different from blueness. Lotus is not a lotusness. Lotus means the noun aspect. The essence of lotus is different from essence of blue. But when you say it is a blue lotus, I am equating the adjective blue as a qualification of the lotus to differentiate the red lotus and the green lotus and all that, which have the same lotusness, but one is blue, another is red, and one is the green. So this is samana adhikaranam, equal emphasis of the two words, even though one is an adjective, another is a noun. So when you say tattvamasi, you are an adjective to the noun tat. That's his explanation. What is that? That is the total Ishvara, the whole universe, because everything is included in the Sat Swarupam, because that's how the teaching is. And you are only an adjective which is different from other adjectives, because he is Ananta Kalyana Gunam. He has auspicious qualities of infinite auspicious qualities. So all jivas form essentially an attribute of the total world. That's called Viseshanam. That's called Visishta Advaita. Now why Visishta Advaita? So jivas and jagat form Viseshanas of the total. Viseshana means adjectives of the total universe. So total Ishvara, Virat Ishvara, that's called 11th chapter Gita, is emphasizing that Ishvara. So total universe consists of the Ishvara that pervades universe. He has essentially as his parts the whole Jagat of 14 lokas of all jivas form, that essential, the qualification of that Viseshanas of the total. That's how he used as Viseshana Visheshabhyam Samanadhikaranam. So equal emphasis of the both adjective and the noun in the Tattvamasi statement. That's how Ramanuja interprets and uses the model where Brahman is a total, man who pervades the whole universe, that is Ishvara. Ishvara is different from a Jiva, but Jiva is a part of the Ishvara. Mamaiva Amso Jiva Loke. So Amsha is only part, is only in the total. That's how he explains. So how does Shankaracharya explains? Shankaracharya explains as Badhayam Samanadhikaranam. Badhayam means you have to negate some disqualifications of this and that and equate the two. Now how is that? So a simple example is Soyam Devadattaha. This is that Devadatta. When I say this Devadatta and that Devadatta are equated. So when I was a student, and when I was small, when I was a young student, very lot of friends, and there was also Devadatta was also my friend. Very mischievous boy, very notorious, very playful, but all the time running around, playing around, and goofing around. That is Devadatta. Very cute boy. Everybody loved him, but he's very cute. And he was playful all the time and all that. So that was long time ago in a different place, and that we have grown apart, and we went somewhere and he went somewhere and all that. Then one day I was listening to a lecture there. One Swami was giving a lecture, and I was sitting there, and my old friend who was also at that time was sitting next to me. Hey, you are here. Yes, I'm here. I want to hear to this Swami. You know who that Swami is? I don't know. Soyam Devadattaha. That Devadatta is this Devadatta. Remember, he is also called Swami Devadatta. I thought this is some other Devadatta. But that Devadatta is the same as the one Devadatta that we played long time ago. We thought very mischievous fellow, and he was a notorious fellow. And that Devadatta is this Devadatta. Oh my God. He is that Devadatta. Can't believe it. Now, this is an incident Now what am I equating? I am equating that Devadatta and the one that I am seeing right now, this Devadatta. This Devadatta looks completely different. He is a Swami with wearing orange robes and everything, and everybody is respecting and all that, prostrating and reverential, and he is a very knowledgeable, very calm, quiet, serene person. This is Devadatta. External forms are different, dress is different, vesham is different, he has a big body, everything else and completely different, looks completely different. That Devata, very mischievous fellow, very young boy, was running around with his nizar and all that, nizar, or with his shirt and pants, small pants and everything, shorts. And that Devadatta, I remember, with a different dress and different body and different attitude and different everything. But when I equate the two, I am removing all the differences of that Devadatta, all differences of this Devadatta, equating essence of this Devadatta and that Devadatta. So, my God, this is that Devadatta, I can't believe it. So, equation is understood because I know what that Devadatta is and I am seeing this Devadatta. And I am not equating the superficial attributes content of this Devadatta or that Devadatta. I am only equating the essence of that Devadatta and this Devadatta. I am dropping all the contradictory qualifications of this Devadatta and that Devadatta, only equating the essence of this Devadatta and that Devadatta. There is only one Devadatta, not two Devadattas. And the equation in that, the attributes of this Devadatta is different from completely attributes of that. But those attributes are superficial and does not vary when we are equating the essence. For transactional purposes, that Devadatta is that Devadatta and this Devadatta is great Swami and everybody is listening to him. They don't care about that Devadatta. Because Rishi Moolam, Nadi Moolam, nobody inquires. Mula means where he come from. So therefore the equation is called Badhayam Samanadikaranam. You have to reject contradictory qualifications, Badha, and so equate the essence, that is Samanam. So Tattvamasi, I am that, what is that at negate? This Jiva notion with I am this, the small this has to be rejected. Only I am part. And what is Ishvara will say? He will also say, I am Ishvara. So Ishvara part is removed, I am part is left. That I am part and I am part is only one I am. That is pure existent consciousness that I am. That is what the equation Tattvamasi, the essence, Aitadatmyam, that is essence is what is the whole universe is that you are. That are the Mahavakyas. Prajnanam Brahma, consciousness alone is infinite, which has to exist. So consciousness, existence is limitless. That is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. And Aham Brahmasmi, that I am Atma Brahma, and Tattvamasi. These are four great Mahavakyas, one from each Vedas. And there are other statements also that is equating this, but these are a sample from each Veda is taken to show that all the four Vedas are pointing out to the same truth, and that truth is you are infinite. Tattvamasi. And that has to be understood, that has to be recognized, that has to be realized, and that realization is self-realization. Now we go into more details in terms of what should I do in order to realize if I had to do something. This we'll do from tomorrow on. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.